93.9 on Nature, and of course at that particular time where we get to look at politics and of course Nigerian politics and what is happening all around Nigerian politics as it concerns me and of course as it concerns you, because we are in this together literally. And then moving forward, we equally will be looking at some other things as this particular dispensation has been moving to make sure that things come the way it ought to be anytime, any day. Moving forward, it is good to equally let everybody know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally met with his class of governors between 1999 down to 2003, although some of them went down to 2007 while some stopped at 2003. And that being said, you're welcome to the show. My name is C.I. Zoro. Of course, this is 7 Politics, and then again, you are welcome. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of course, who met with some principal governors from 1999, just like I said, and then of course some of them included James Ibori of Delta State, former governor of Delta State, Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State, of course Lucky Ibinedion of Edo State, Oji Uzokalo of Abia State, Sam Egu of Ebonyi State, just to mention a few of them who were there present, Chimaroke Nnamani of Enugu State, just like I said, to mention a few of them that were there present with the president of the federation. I think he's trying to bring everybody together to make sure that this particular government works, and if this is what it is, of course I think it is the right step, the right direction, because some of these persons still have influence, especially in their state, their political local government constituencies and the rest of them, because apart from being governors between a certain time to another certain time, some of them went into the Senate while some equally retired totally. Moving on from that, we equally had the likes of the Senate president, current Senate President, I beg your pardon, Godswill Akpabio, and 13 senators who are said to earn 5.6 billion ex-governors pension. It's a big deal, 5.6 billion thereabout, of course. And then as it stands, it is something that will really be looked into, because if that eventually is happening, is it necessary? Again, you're welcome to the show. My name is CI0 once more, and of course I will be doing this alone because I've got gentlemen with me here in the studio. Let's start from Uche right there. You're welcome, my brother.
Good morning, Nigerians. It's good to talk politics.
My brother, you are really prepared with all the ugly one. Okay, so good morning to you, Big Man Chulo. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you as well. Good morning to everyone out there. I don't want to talk. Because the money you just mentioned right now is annoying me already, because
this pension, they were civil servants.
But you're still serving. As long as you're still serving, there is no point of you collecting pension. It should not be, because this is just waste of money. This is waste of funds, because you're still getting paid as a senator that you are, as a Senate president that you are. So why would you not be getting paid because you were a governor? It doesn't really add up, and this is what we keep talking about. So you collect salary from here, and then you as a normal civil servant working in the ministry level 8 would not be allowed to actually go and own your own business outside your own job, because it is seen as if you're not giving your job the attention it needs. So you look at all of these things, it's just annoying. And when we talk about the people cutting down, this is what they need to start cutting down as well too. If you decide to cut down, if you're going to keep on serving in a different capacity, then forget about collecting pensions from your previous position as well. Let's see how we can use that money. That's a lot of money. You said billions.
Yes,
now
5.6 billion.
Imagine that amount of money being pumped into
other senators that were governors before.
Imagine that money now being pumped into the government or into the economy right about now. It will go a long way, paying a lot of people. I talk about palliatives. Our president is looking for money to
about 500
billion for palliatives. Where are we going to get that money from? So these are the things that we should start looking at, ways to cut costs on, and then use those monies for something different that will benefit the entire people of Nigeria. So yes, good morning, my people.
Of course, do you think it is necessary to have such an amount of money given to still civil servants? Because at this point, they are still serving the public. Do you think it is necessary, Uche?
If you have served the state meritoriously for 4 years or 8 years,
Yes.
I don't see any reason that will gratify you collecting pensions.
Okay.
For you to collect pension, you must have worked for 35 years, 30
Thank you.
in some cases. For example, Anambra State is just one of the states in Nigeria that is yet to promulgate such laws. The House of Assembly has not done that. We saw that in Delta State, we saw that in Benue State, we saw that in Lagos State. Some of these governors, where they are going, the only thing is that you're not serving as a governor, but all the paraphernalia of office while you're governor, number of aides, you are entitled to a cook, a driver, a personal assistant, entitled to say like 5 million per annum pay.
Yes.
Then you, like some states put their own that you must have a house, a comfortable duplex in Abuja or Lagos, and also you must have security aids. So when you look at these things, you see that it's dwindling down on the financial pulse of the states. For me, that shouldn't occur. And you see, most of these governors, like you said, class of 99, most of them went to the Senate. Most of them are ministers. Somebody like George Akume, who is this SGF now. You see that these people have been in government,
Part of the government,
and are still in government, and they're enjoying the goodies in government. So paying extra money for them, to me, is a misnomer. Like Serap has already petitioned the relevant agencies for such things to stop. You're not supposed to be collecting money twice. Just like my brother here said, he's civil servant. While you're working for the state, you're not entitled to work elsewhere.
Yes.
Just like if you're a politician, for example, you're serving Senate in the Senate or House of Assembly, you're not entitled to
have other businesses.
That's just you must take them, but you must not work in the other arm of government. Like you become a member of the executive and also be a member of the legislative arm. That's not. And also, some of these persons, before they get into office, you will see their assets declaration as
Some didn't.
No.
In this particular present government. The federal
before it is constitutional that before you assume office, you make those things public to the access company of Nigeria that takes talks of those kind of things, and it's now because of that relevant agencies to bring it to limelight. Just recently, before this set of governors that came in, new governors, a governor declared that he had 1 trillion. What kind of business is he doing in this kind of economy in Nigeria to get such kind of money? And when some of these governors leave office, EFCC starts questioning them.
Some cut away with
some will take 500 billion. When they go to the courts, because of our judicial system, they go into what is called plea bargaining. When you steal 500 billion, plea bargain will now give you the avalanche of
splitting
years into two, having to pay 250 and going back. So you see that it encourages corruption in the system. So for me, that operation of paying ex-governors pensions, while some of them are still serving in the Senate or serving as ministers, it shouldn't be seen anywhere. The money should be judiciously used in providing social amenities like hospitals, like schools, like roads for our people. This is what it should be, not using money for taking care of ex-governors that normally engage in Owambe or marrying wives. For me, it shouldn't be what you should be talking in this 21st century.
Let's take a look into the People's Democratic Party, where the Special Assistant on Public Communications to the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar in the just concluded 2023 elections, Mr. Fark Shaibu, has actually alleged that President Tinubu has resulted to appointing his critics into government as part of a plot to silence the opposition. But looking at it from the democratic part of this whole thing, do you think it is what it is, or he's trying to be a democratic leader who carries a lot of persons along? Because the main gain of being a democratic leader is after elections you resolve your problems and then you bring a lot of persons together to be able to make your government work. And then at the end of the day, is it what you think it is? Trying to silence the opposition at this point, or do you think it is him trying to be that democratic head of state at this point?
If you look at what is being said, that he's carrying them along, and especially the G5 governors, because even Autumn came out this morning in the newspapers to say that what Atiku and his spokesperson are just saying is just them being sore losers, basically. The fact that you've lost, you're coming out to now attack them and say that the reason why they are now having this contact with the Tinubu administration is due to the fact that they want them to probably be given some positions and then wave away any issues that might lead to them being investigated due to some issues that they've been having, and so that Atiku on his own cannot come out to on the moral ground and start accusing them of being corrupt, whereas Obasanjo came out to make some statements concerning Atiku as well. So all of those things going on, I want to look at it from two aspects. The first aspect is, yes, first and foremost, they know that they were against their own party person, which is totally wrong. They were, against their own party person, is wrong on his own part.
And so being a member of the said political party.
Exactly. So that on its own has created a rift between themselves and the party. They know that it might be difficult for them to actually get any favor from their own party, and so they are looking at a way to stick to the ruling party right about, or the person in position at this moment, given the fact that they actually played a role in him getting there. You saw what Wike did in Rivers and these other governors as well, to not sticking with Atiku meant that they were actually for this candidate who eventually became the president right about now. So there's a lot of things going on there, but at the same time, I want to look at it from these two aspects, which is first and foremost, yes, they want those political appointments. That is true, because nobody, just like he has mentioned before, none of these people come out from that government house and then just want to go on a sabbatical or just go somewhere and chill. No, they want to come back into power, and that is what you are going to have to look for. Right about now, their only source of getting there is to stick with the moving train, and that's what they're trying to do right now. And what that is one. Two, the other aspect is a lot of, given the fact first and foremost that you are from PDP, a lot of issues might come up that would need you being investigated. And to also avoid all of those investigations, exactly, if you can get yourself with the ruling party and then the person in charge, it helps you to be able to waive all of this, even though you might be brought in for questioning, but that's not just where it will end. After the questioning, you're being released and then nothing happens as well. So it happens here in Nigeria. It has been happening over time, and that is just what is playing out. There is always an atom of truth to every rumor, and the same way Atiku has come out to say, Atiku's spokesperson has come out to say, I believe that there's an atom of truth to it. It might not really be totally true, but there's an atom of truth to it, and then they are already coming back at this point in time trying to play the defense, just like Autumn did this morning, by saying that you guys are only saying this due to the fact that you lost, and you guys lost because you knew you were not in full support of you didn't have the full support of your party, and you guys knew you were going to lose, but then just because you did not want to humble yourself, you let go, and then you guys lost eventually. So it's just you guys being sore losers at this moment. That's what they've been saying. So I'm still looking forward to hear from the PDP and of course from Atiku as well, because I believe that he would also have something else to say after this one.
It's to what Autumn actually said. He actually went ahead to say that Atiku Abubakar of the PDP has no moral right to accuse anyone of corruption when his former principal and the former president of the federation described him as being a corrupt man. moving ahead, do you think that this particular allegation by the People's Democratic Party as regards political appointments from this particular dispensation, do you think it is just to silence the opposition or just being democratic?
For me, this is normal political talk we normally see in the political arena. The ex-governor of Benue State, being a member of G5 governors, presently is having a hot seat in his state. The governor of Rivers, the governor of Benue State now, the Reverend Father Alai, there were discoveries made in the state.
Cars
parked. I've been following the trend in that state. During his stay as governor, he was always in the news about Fulani herdsmen attacking his people. What did he do with the resources of the state to protect his people? Aside the anti-grazing law they put in there, just like Anambra State, we have the AVG. There are things you are supposed to do constitutionally within the limits to protect your people. But aside that, the noise you normally hear on social media and the TV, it normally appears on national TV. What else did he do for his state to protect the people? That's number one. Number two, just recently we have been seeing primary schools, secondary schools. If you see the kind of pictures and videos coming out from that state where people and students learn, you get to ask yourself what kind of man elsewhere in that state as a governor, because normally goats and hens shouldn't be reared in such places. For me, I find it very despicable situation because, for example, every month each state receives FAC allocation, federal allocation commission disposes the revenues, the money accrued to every state. In these monies, salaries and pensions of workers and pensioners are factored into that. After paying salaries, the next is what you are going to run the government. But just in Abia State, just yesterday, I was following one of the special assistants to Abia State governor. He was talking about the governor paying 20 months as standing salaries. I was like, in this 21st century, somebody being owed 20 months salary, both local government workers, teachers in that state, and this same governor is part of G5 governors.
Yeah,
you see that
Bazo has been busy building a lot of private sectors, because I could remember he said one of his achievements back in the day is giving out 500 naira to some married
mothers.
Yes. And so that explains it. If you've been anywhere too close to Umuahia,
that's a funny comment.
It's a funny commentary
on TV.
Yeah, I watched it. Let me back to what I was saying. The former governor of Abia State, it took him more than 7 years to build the Osisioma flyover. Aba is in a mess. Teachers are being owed 12 months, 20 months salary. Local government staffs, nobody is being paid in that state. And you find these governors gallivanting around the country, flying around the world, holding G5 meeting outside Nigeria on how to know who is going to win the elections. And now you are turning around because you know that PDP never won in your state, so that for you to be protected by the powers that be in Abuja, it now seems to, But thank God some of these governors in their states, those states where they lost, like in Abia State, is not a pushover governor that you can mess around with. Likewise, the governor of Benue State. But in the aspect of Aswaju, that's why he's called Jagaba. He knows the act of politicking to bring her across. Yes, he never leaves his wings. Just like in a football match, you don't leave your flanks open for your opponents to hit him. So he wants to carry everybody along to get to tap from their resources from what they have been through while they were governors in their state. But however, some of these governors, for me, they shouldn't be given any portfolio like minister, because some of them will be dormant there. They never did anything meaningful for their states.
Exactly. I was
Just-
about to say that.
Just
Those
three of them.
1999
Just three of them. Somebody like Cross River State Governor Donald Duke that did wonders with Tinapa. Yes.
How many of the 1999 governors were really free from corruption? How many of them were able to impact lives in their state? If you talk about Ibori that you mentioned,
No, Ibori actually tried within that period, because he made way for private sectors to be able to invest. As at that time, he actually worked on roads, if I'm not mistaken, between 2003, especially after his run of election, which equally led to the new government of Udwaya within the period in 2007.
Look at it properly. You know, I did more. But that's
It was a continuous process, more like in Lagos State, where Bola did, and then of course handed over to Fashola, who went over to Ambode, and then right now Sanwo-Olu as
My brother, see I do. Let's be factual here.
Yes.
Delta State is an oil producing state.
Of course.
Niger Delta, they receive 13% intervention. If you, for example, Wike has been able to build like 13 or more flyovers in 8 years, just for example.
And the new governor is about to continue.
Yes, I'm trying to make a point. In just River State, in Delta State, where the ex-governor James Ibori was before his trial in London, and also how it manifested and played out. These governors received 13% derivation fund. How did they manage those funds? That should be a question. There are some places in Delta State you have to pass through, like Okerenkuku in Delta State. You take like 6 hours or 5 hours on a flying boat to get there. What stops the governor from doing a bridge to that place?
Exactly.
Just recently, I saw a bridge that the governor of Bayelsa is doing. It's costing the state 6 billion naira, because the topography of those places and this part of Nigeria, that's eastern part, they are not the same. But you see these governors lavishing funds on frivolities. At the end, you see the people of those states languishing in poverty. Some of them take their students abroad for scholarships. Some of them are stranded there. They stop paying the bursaries they normally give students. And when you, as a student, you can't afford to pay for those kind of money. Some of them go into criminalities, and it gets to bring back name for our country.